All right, I'll get started. Obviously, been a trying last couple weeks, but I've had a lot of time to think through it and dissected everything and hear everyone's opinions and um, I think what it makes me feel is that we've changed the outlook of what this program is like and what people think of it. So it's good. It's healthy. It does hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It hurts to say that we've lost five in a row, but it's supposed to. I've given that talk a lot to. I've given that talk at the end of each year up to this point because we haven't won the final game. And one of the things that I've continued to tell those teams that it's supposed to hurt. Like it's not supposed to feel good. You're supposed to get over it, and you're supposed to reflect and get back to okay, let's get on to the next one, and what did we learn, and what can we take from this and go. So currently, when you're on this journey and you get a flat tire, you gotta go. Okay, what can we learn? What did we do wrong? And what can we do to get better to put these guys in the best position to beat them? So that's what we're focused on. That's what we've done. The best thing about it, as we dissect everything, we're not playing that poorly. We're just not making enough breaks for us. We're not. Obviously, it's easy to look at. We're not hitting with runners as on base over the last couple of weeks. That hasn't been the case, so it's not like it's been a season-long problem. Just when you play the number 7 team in the country on the road, you better make some things happen, and we didn't. And I think that's just kind of parlayed as we've gone along. So anyways, feel good about our work we had yesterday. Feels really good to not have a midweek game so we can actually practice, which we've got very little of over the last month because of all of our games and then days off that you got to take and everything else. So feel good about where we're going, what we're going to do, how we're going to respond this weekend. And I'm really excited to see how that works.
Do you feel like you can work your way through it, or is it a mental adjustment? What is it, more the physical or the mental?
I don't think it's physical. I think it's mental to a certain extent, and I don't think it's a real big problem at this point. It just kind of happened all at once, and kind of has happened to a bunch of them. Right? We're getting on base at an elite level. I think 3rd in the country. We're not striking out, so it's not like we're not putting balls in play and hard at times. We just had some bad luck, and it's all happened kind of as a collective effort for the whole team at one time, which is kind of weird. I've tried to move the lineup around some, but I feel like I've got the best hitters in there at this point. We got a couple of young kids that I need to get some more at bats, but it's not like when they've got opportunities, they're tearing it up. So I'm not going to sacrifice any defense at this point because we're not scoring enough runs. So I think it's more up here because I think it's more of a pressing thing than it is anything else. These guys are so elite that they think that they can change it in their at bat. Instead of just having a good at bat, they're going to okay, get on my back, this at bat, I'm going to change the whole thing. And you're not. That just puts more pressure and adds more pressure to these guys, and they press and don't execute the way they want to because they've got too many other things, too many ancillary things pulling at them that they're not 100% focused, or they're not able to be 100% focused like they need to be good.
When you talk about pressure, you do have some players that haven't been in these type of situations before.
No question.
Does that factor in?
I think it's got to. I think I even think about a Becker. You know what I mean? Like still going at a high level, but kind of has dropped in her average some, and even on base and that kind of stuff. This is new to her. I don't think she's had this sort of attention that we have here. Like this is kind of nuts. So I think about work. It's new to her. You know what I mean? You saw Wynn this last year that couldn't respond like she's able to respond now, but she's still kind of gonna feel that. Feel like Kylie's maintained pretty good. Bloodworth. You know, I mean, it's been hard on her. You know, I mean, even though she had a great year at Alabama or a good year there, and they had a good season, it wasn't like this. So I think as you go along and look at talent, and it just can keep going on, right? It's a lot of them. So you know, it's new, but the bottom line is they're getting calloused, and that's what you got to have. It's what you got to do, and this is as humbling of a game as there is out there, and so you just keep plugging.
I know you don't necessarily want them to listen to the noise on the outside, but if you put it in perspective, the fact that there's that kind of noise tells you, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little blip, and people are jumping off, you know, the bridge.
It's interesting. It's the first time it's really happened to me, or it's like where I've like felt it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not losing any sleep, I can tell you that, but I do go, damn, like that happens fast. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we're still pretty good, I think. You know what I mean? But when you raise to a level that we want to go to, there's more scrutiny, there's more praise, there's more scrutiny. I've said that always, like, you have to take the good with the bad. Like, it's just what it is. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. I told our team that. I said, look, like, we're really good, okay, but I think we're caught up a lot in trying to protect a ranking that means nothing. It's purely opinion. There's no algorithm to the ranking at all. It's a personal opinion of others. And maybe we're too high, maybe we're too low. I don't know. But if you get caught up, like even maybe I have, if you get caught up in trying to protect things that don't have any value, any real value, then you're wasting time and taking energy away from things that are really important. And that is being your best.
I ask you this because I've been over at baseball more because I've had assignments over there and haven't seen your team as much. But one thing I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 seasons, intense, really, really good internal leadership with your players. And you remade this team. Is that there? I mean, and I ask that out of just, you know, stupidity.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I feel good about what we have going on. You know, we've worked really hard at that actually with the program and the things that we've done, and creating or identifying and clearly spelling out the cowgirl way. Feel really good about that, and I'm hearing that message from multiple people, which tells me it has good value. So that's why the sky's not falling inside there, because they know that, hey, we lost 5 in a row, but we're just still trying to live the cowgirl way. And we know that'll turn. It's relentless, and it's excellence, and it's passionate. And as long as we maintain those, we'll be fine. We're trying to be in the top 8 when the Big 12 tournament is done. That hasn't changed. Do we want to win the regular season, a conference a championship in the tournament? Hell yeah! Like, we want to win that. But I will trade all of that to be in the top 8 to host here, because I know how special this place is, and that hasn't changed, and we're still in a excellent spot in that. So we feel good. I mean, we feel good in here, and I think we'll show that this weekend as we play. I think we will, and I wish I could get to Friday now, you know, but I know we need work. So
Tech has really hit the ball pretty well this
Yeah.
year. But your top 2 arms especially have thrown really well.
Yeah.
What have you seen? What's your sort of assessment where Kelly and Kylie are right now?
Yeah, they're both.
Lexi, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. They're both. I mean, throwing at a high level. You know, and Kyra is too, to be very honest. And the limited chances that Ivy has, she's thrown well. So I'm very happy with where our pitching and our defense are. I'm very happy with our hitting, except for one area, just, you know, with runners is on base. So I feel very good. I respect what Craig's done over there. They're much improved. But like anything, I know that good pitching beats good hitting any day when good pitching's on. And so I'll hang my hat on that. We're going to play good catch. We're going to do things that championship teams do, and I'll hang our hat on that.
You mentioned you were excited to get the midweek off to practice. What does practice look like when the weather's like this?
Well, I mean, we got a good one in yesterday, and we'll go inside here. We'll go get some good defense in Sherman, and then we'll hit and do some things there. It'll just be focused and intentful type work. I think that's all we really need. It'd be nice to be out there, but we can get what we need to get done here, in the facilities that we have, and we'll just take advantage of that.
How do you convey the message of the sky's not falling, like you said earlier, especially whenever you mentioned this is kind of their first time experiencing something like this? How do you convey that message to the team?
Yesterday, I read off all of our stats to our team that we're in the top 10 in the NCAA, over 300 teams. I read off all those stats to them, and I said, if I would have told you this in February, would you have taken it? And I think every one of them was like, of course. And I'm like, so what's the problem? Like, we're good. So that's just the message. I think it's more just reminding them that they're really good, that they're still playing well. We've improved in so many areas. I don't even think about the fact that we have, until you guys ask, about 14 newcomers. I haven't even thought that, until you ask that, which is, okay, I could go back and use that as an excuse, but I'm not, because I don't feel that while we're playing and while we're traveling and while we're together. So I feel like this is it's one group, and they're locked in, and they're playing for the right reasons and the right purpose.
Again, I'm asking this out of stupidity because I haven't seen the girls. I
Yeah.
haven't been around them that much.
Yeah.
But you had some voices, some loud voices. I mean, and when you talk about Cheyenne's not a real loud, rah-rah kind of kid. But you had some rah-rahs. Do you have some rah-rahs in there that?
Well, I think what we get confused
And
on.
do you need a rah-rah?
I think what we get confused on is you see like an Ellis be rah-rah on the field, but she's not saying a word in the locker room. Not a word. So we have the right rah-rah on our field. That just we haven't had enough reason in the last couple weeks to be rah-rah. You know what I mean? So I don't think we've ever had these crazy voices in the locker room. Okay? We've just had good voices, like good steady eddies. We've had a couple like Shao and Elish that have been fist pumpers.
Yeah.
I used to love that. That's all I ever wanted, and I've kind of said, I'd like to have maybe one of those each year. Too many of those is tough to handle. But I love them. And so, Kylie, when she's going, when things are going well, we've got things. She's pretty aggressive and pretty loud, and those are things that I've reminded her about. We're not getting that out of Kelly. It's just not gonna, it's not gonna happen. We can get it out of Tuck. Becker plays with a lot of emotion, and she's starting to show that every day a little bit more. But she's kind of quiet, reserved, and all that. So it's just, I don't think we have to have that inside or outside. I think you can win a lot of ways. I don't feel like that's a missing ingredient, if you will.
Not a prerequisite, but some kids feed off
Yeah.
somebody else doing
Yeah.
that feeds them. I
Sure.
always thought Cheyenne kind of fed off,
Yeah.
some of the other kids doing that.
Yeah.
So Kelly had the blister on the one finger when
Yeah.
you guys were here. It doesn't look like obviously you didn't win the game she pitched at Texas, but there's evidence that she's fine. Has that been something she's dealt with before, or is that just kind of a one-off thing?
No, it's the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, she just we don't really just talk about it a bunch. But her finger basically blisters from the way she holds her rise ball and the way she has to spin the ball, and so it blisters, it peels, it bleeds, it cracks, it bleeds. So super glue's her friend. She super glues it shut, and even super glue flakes off. So it's a constant process during games, it's just a crazy thing.
I'm sure if there was something y'all could do to,
Oh,
I mean, like, that's not fixable, right?
Yeah.
It just is, right?
Yeah, my wife's uncle is a Mohs doctor, so he's like the most elite skin doctor that you can see, and so he's in Austin. So I had him just take a look, and he's like, "Yeah, I think rest would be number one." And he goes, "But I know you're not going to rest, so that it just needs to heal." And I think John had a great point last week. He said, this is the first time in Kelly's life that she didn't have a break. She went right from the season to Team USA, and then right into the fall. We tried to shut her down in the fall, and she got antsy and irritated, and she's back again. So we will shut her down. It's going to have to heal, and maybe that'll help. Maybe it won't.
Anything else for Coach Gajewski? Awesome.